This is going to be a just overview of what I do to prepare for the Sabbath, as well as preparing my heart for finding rest in the Father. So I'm just going to share with you what I do and go over some practical steps that I do every Friday to prepare our home for the Sabbath. Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Hannah and I make videos on faithful and simple living. I took an unexpected break from making videos for YouTube for the month of January, but I'm back now with today's video. This is going to be a just overview of what I do to prepare for the Sabbath, our weekly Sabbath. I do a lot of things around our home to prepare that, as well as preparing my heart for finding rest in the Father. So I'm just going to share with you what I do and go over some practical steps that I do every Friday to prepare our home for the Sabbath. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate that so much, and please do not forget to subscribe and like this video if you want to see more content like this. So our family observes a weekly Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening, and we just take that time to really rest and use it as a day of worship and just resting our spirits and our bodies from the work and stress of the week. So today is Friday and I am preparing for our Sabbath. There are some physical things that I like to do just to make sure the home is clean. I have food prepped, I have the Sabbath dinner prepped and ready to go, and just other things I like to do. So I'm going to share those with you first and then get into the more mental and spiritual things that I will do for our home and for me personally to prepare my heart for rest. So I have a cleaning schedule that I like to go through throughout the week. So like on Tuesdays I will deep clean the kitchen, on Wednesdays I'll do bathrooms, I'll vacuum throughout the week. So I make sure the house is always clean, but on Friday I like to do a quick tidy, a quick vacuum, just make sure that all the areas are clean and tidy, that there isn't things unorganized and lying around on different surfaces. Just doing a quick tidy of the house really helps me rest better on our Sabbath. I will also rotate Caden's toys depending on how he's doing playing by himself, playing with the toys that I have out. Usually this will be every couple weeks or maybe even once a month depending on how he is reacting to his playtime. So I will also do that on a Friday. I will also clean out the refrigerator and freezer, just throw out any old leftovers, make sure it's clean and ready to put all the new food that I'm prepping for the weekend in there so it just has room and all the old things are gone. I will also do the last load of laundry for the week, so make sure all of our clothes are clean. Sometimes this means washing towels, washing bedding, just depending on what I've done throughout the week already, and just making sure it's all wrapped up on Friday. I will also finish up any work that I have to do for the week, just making sure I get all of my social media managing jobs done, because I have 3, plus any blog work or brand partner work that I am needing to do. I will get all that done and finished before the evening. Then I like to prep food for our evening meal as well as for the weekend, mainly on Saturday, but sometimes I will prep food for Sunday as well. This includes making bread. I love doing that every prep day on our Fridays. So this includes prepping the dough ahead of time, so earlier in the day, and then making the bread in the evening. Sometimes this includes making sourdough loaves, or challah bread is what I normally do for our Shabbat dinners. And then I will also prep breakfast for the following morning. Sometimes this will run over into Sunday as well. So things like French toast casserole, or whipping up a pancake batter I can make really quickly in the morning, doing crepes, making the batter for those, and all the fixings, just making sure I have things prepped and ready, just so I don't have to worry about making the kitchen all dirty, using a bunch of dishes, and then spending so much time prepping and making the food. Just having that prepared is really helpful. I also like to make sure I have lunch prepped for our Saturdays. Sometimes this just means defrosting a soup or casserole that I already have in the freezer, or maybe eating leftovers, because Saturdays is a leftover day for us most of the time. But if I don't have any leftovers already in the refrigerator, I will defrost a soup or make a soup ahead of time, just something easy that I can warm up or just stick in the oven, and we have lunch or dinner for Saturday. I will also prep other foods and snacks for the weekend, something like muffins or cookies, different things I've done in the past, just something quick that we can grab if we are just feeling snacky and there's nothing to snack on in the house. And then I will start preparing our Sabbath meal for the evening. This looks different every single time. It always includes bread most of the time. And then I just start prepping our food for the evening and make sure that is done. at a reasonable time every single Friday night. Okay, so those are more of the physical things that I like to do to make sure the house is clean and our food is prepped and just my home in general is ready to go for the Sabbath, so I don't have to worry about it. Just having it organized and clean helps me rest better. Just that's the kind of person I am, and it really does help you mentally when you are trying to rest. So moving into the more spiritual and mental things that I like to do and prepare for myself, because sometimes it is very hard to rest in a season of busyness, a season of motherhood where you're always cleaning or picking up or having to get snacks, change diapers. Finding rest can be really difficult if you look at it as a physical thing, but I have really learned over this past year that rest is much more of a mental process that you have to get yourself into. And seeing that has really helped me actually find rest when I am still doing things on our Sabbath. I can still rest in the Father's presence and the grace that He gives. I've talked about this before, but God sees you in your season. If He tells you to rest, that does not mean just lying on your bed all day. You can rest and still do things and serve your family. And just learning that over this past year has been so helpful when getting into the mental process of resting for the Sabbath. So these are just some things that I like to do to really prepare my heart and my mind to rest well for the Lord's Sabbath. So first I will set the diffuser with a grounding blend, something like the Surrender Essential Oil Blend, Stress Away. I love cedarwood, frankincense, rosemary and lavender are also great ones. Just setting the diffuser with some oils that will help me get into the mood and mentality of resting and finding grounding in my Creator. Just really helps me as I'm going about cleaning the house or setting the table for the Sabbath dinner. Just having those oils really helps me get into the mindset of resting. And then as I'm going throughout the day of cleaning and prepping and cooking and everything that I have to do, I will pray and meditate on the Lord. This may be hard when you're in a busy season and you don't have time to sit down with your Bible and study out the Word and have that quiet time with the Lord. But just concentrating on praying throughout the day and just preparing your heart for rest and to see the Lord's goodness and His provision that He gives every single day, and especially on His Sabbaths. Doing that has really just helped me get into the mindset of rest and resting in the Lord's will. Another thing that I love to do and I got into the habit of doing is when I'm making the bread for our Sabbath meal and I'm kneading it and braiding it, just meditating and praying while I do that, praying for our family, for our home, for maybe the people that are coming to visit us that evening for the Sabbath. Just getting into the mindset when I'm making the bread to be using that time to commune with the Father and just pray for certain people and over certain things. I've really loved this habit that I've set, and it really does help me not stress about maybe getting the dinner done or whatever else is going wrong during the day. Just that is a time to set my mind to praying to the Lord. Another thing that I'm not always good at is trying to be intentional about having a quiet time on Fridays. This also helps me prepare my heart for just being in the Father's will and concentrating on all that He does. Again, I'm not always good at this. There are many times where this does not happen because of other factors, but just getting everything else done, sometimes I cannot sit down and actually have a quiet time, but that is one thing that I try to prioritize every single Friday. Playing worship music is something else that I love to do. Just while I am cleaning, maybe dusting, folding laundry, I will put on a worship playlist or something on YouTube and just listen to that as I'm going about my work, whether it's cooking or anything else. Just that also helps me get into the mindset of worshiping the Father. And then anointing and praying over my home. Sometimes I will go around with oil and anoint the doorpost in different areas as I pray for it. Or I will just be in a different room at different times of the day and just pray over that room, over the people that will be entering that room this weekend or the week following the Sabbath. Just having the Lord's presence enter this home is something that is very important to me. So just praying over certain rooms, praying over our home is something that I've also gotten to the habit of doing every Friday. So the last one I have for this section is just getting my heart postured towards God, towards accepting His shalom and His peace on the Sabbath that He has given us. Sometimes this is very hard because of outside factors and stress and everything, but just letting go of what doesn't get done. If I do not get all my to-do list done during the day, it will still be okay to rest in a messy home, or if I didn't get lunch done for the next day, something that just did not get done on my to-do list. But I do not need to worry about that because I can still find His peace and His shalom in His Sabbath, no matter if my to-do list is done or if something else does not get finished, or there are outside factors affecting my brain or my heart, I can still find rest in Him. So just learning to let go and accept the peace that He gives is the last one I would suggest when preparing your heart for the Sabbath. So that is just a quick overview of what I really do to prepare our home and my heart for our weekly Sabbaths. Let me know something that you do for your day of rest in the comments below, just to help you prepare for rest and just letting go of the worries of the world and your life for one day. Is such a beautiful thing that the Lord commands us to do, and it really does help just refresh you for the upcoming week. The Sabbath is such a gift from God, and I am so thankful that we have been incorporating this into our weekly routines and preparing our hearts to serve Him for the week to come. Thank you again for being here and so much for watching, and I will see you next time.